All right. I'd like to start off by saying Barakatah Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rachah Kodash. Welcome to another live lesson. To this devil vocab and his minions and all of you shambles out there trying to help him. Never mind what you feel and what you think, and trying to debunk the truth, of the Hebrew Israelites. Just worry about when the Lord lets us off the leash, all right? Because the time is coming when the Lord will let us off the leash. Right now, we have to be spiritual, because, the Lord said to wait till upon him. But when the Lord comes back, the Lord's going to let loose on you devils. And he's going to let us loose on you devils, when the time comes, just so you know. So we're going to go through some precepts, because I was just watching Elder Yashawanba's video with vocab talking about I feel and I think. And if you look at the 12 tribes in Revelation 7, it's not in the same order that it is, and this, that, and the other. So what? All right? This is why you devils have to have something called replacement theology and supersessionism, because your bullshit doesn't work with Israel in the way. And one easy scripture that will debunk your whole bullshit is Jeremiah 31, and then also I believe it's the 33rd chapter, where it says if the sun and the moon don't give their light anymore, then will the Lord do away with the nation of Israel. So just shut the fuck up, all right? Basically. And it's going to be an honor and a pleasure when the Lord give us the power to take you devils down, man. Because the Lord is coming to take you down. He's going to give us the power, over you. We're going to get the mastery over you, when the time comes. All bullshit aside. The kingdom of heaven is not going to be some twinkle toe, mole fest, all right? Everybody just getting along. All the shit that you devils done did just swept out, out the back door. Everything that you nations have done just swept out the back door. All of you individuals, all you shambles out there that have sold out and destroyed your own people is just going to get swept under. No. There's going to be retribution coming, all right? So let's go real quick to the book of, Isaiah chapter 40. I got my trusty, Chromebook, which Elder Pastor had got for us years ago. It had shut down on me, so I thought it wasn't working anymore, a while ago. But then I just let it rest, and eventually, plugged it back in after I had bought another one, and then eventually it started working. So, this is the book of, just bear with me 1 second. This is the book of Isaiah chapter 40. We're going to go straight to the point. And verse 31. It says, but they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary, and they shall walk and not faint. Why? Because the Lord is going to renew our strength. Brothers are broken down now, infirmities or whatever the case may be, physical ailments and just different situations going on. Excuse me, but the Lord says he's going to renew our strength. And when the Lord renews our strength, it's going to be renewed, to set this world back in order, in the real true order that it's supposed to be in once Yahushua comes back. Because Yahushua is the ultimate king, of course, underneath the Most High, who's going to set the order of this new government of the nation of Israel upon the earth. All right? And vocabulary, they have Judah first, and that's not the order, because the order went according to the mothers and the way they birthed them. Shut the fuck up. Scripture say that Judah, thou art he whom thy brethren shall praise. The Lord shall save the tents of Judah first. Judah is the head tribe, all right? Get that through that big fat head snake of yours, all right? Judah is the head tribe, all right? That's why they numbered first. So it says, so let's move on from there. Let's go from there. Let's go to the book of Daniel. You devils have no idea what's coming. And you're trying to, gloss over all of the scriptures, so you can fit your demonic ass in there. All this wickedness you devils have done throughout the planet all these years, now all of a sudden you just want to slide up in there. Oh, I believe in Jesus. You know, Jesus forgave me for my sins. Oh, yeah, you know, I know we called you niggas and spicks and spooks and wetbacks. I know we had you in captivity. I know we killed you and lynched you and raped your women and sold your children and did all this wickedness to you. But God will forgive us. All we have to do is accept Jesus. Get the fuck out of here, man. Are you out of your motherfucking mind? Matter of fact, let's go real quick to Jeremiah 49. Here it is, the beloved people of the Most High, the Israelites. The apple of his eye caught hell, went into captivity, you know, and were totally beaten down into submission to this day. To this day. To this day. And you think you're going to get away? You think you're just going to slide off and ride off into the sunset? Oh, I just accept Jesus. And that's it. You know, that's all I have to do. Believe in Jesus, and he'll absolve me of all my iniquities and my sins. Get the fuck out of here, man. You devils are delusional. You know, you devils have been up on top so long, you fucking bought your own bullshit. Lord, sweet Jesus, let me, you know. You devils, you have no idea or no clue what the Lord got in store for you. So this is Jeremiah 49:12. For thus saith the Lord Yahweh, the power of the universe, for you devils out there. All right? Behold, they whose judgment was not to drink of the cup have assuredly drunken. Who's that? The Israelites. We weren't supposed to drink of that cup, even though when you go into the scheme of things, really we were supposed to, but we were not supposed to because we are the royal people of the Lord. You know, if you understand what I'm saying. You know, we're the royal people of the Lord, but we had to go through this because we had to fall, learn the left-hand side of the tree. You know, as Elder High Priest Yaakov used to always say, we had to learn both sides, you know, so that when we're set up in the kingdom of heaven, we'll be able to be the best judge because we have both, we have experience with both sides of the tree, right? So we weren't supposed to drink of the cup, but we drank. Oh, we drank, we gulped it, we were pickled in it. You know, and you still see the effects to this day. But you have symbols out there, well, you know, there really should be no thing as reparations because and look, the Lord is going to have a wall of fire for you guys because there's no words for you, man. You symbols, you know, among the nation of Israel, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, the only cure for you is a big wall of fire coming, which are those missiles and the lasers from the chariots. It's going to come and extinguish your life out of your body. Your life is gonna ooze from your body, inside joke, but true. You know, because you that's the only thing that will fix that warped mindset of yours is fire. And remember, fire is inspiration. So it says, and art thou he that shall altogether go unpunished? So you that are not the people of the Most High, you that are profane, you, whom the Lord has indignation against your people forever, you know, are you going to go unpunished? Here it is, the Lord punished his beloved, and are you going to go unpunished? It says, thou shalt not go unpunished, but thou shalt surely drink of it. Drink of what? Drink of the captivity that the Lord has prepared for you. And it's all throughout the scriptures, but you devils, as your manner is, you want to sweep that under the rug. You want to remove that out of the way. You want to, you know, you want to, sweep it under the rug, you know. Let's go to Obadiah, chapter 1 and verse 15. For the day of the Lord is near upon all the heathen. And it means just what it means. In this case, the heathen, yes, that's the other nations. In the New Testament, when it speaks about salvation to the heathen and Gentiles, it's not talking about you devils. It's talking about Israelite strangers, Israelite foreigners. Get that through your thick demonic skull, but you're not going to get it because, you know, you're a deaf adder that stoppeth their ears. And you do it purposely because you're not stupid. You know, you devils out there, you're not stupid. You're very intelligent to be able to go through all those different, you know, seminars and, you know, learn all this different bullshit that you learn and you're very articulate with your words. So you're not stupid. You're not unintelligible. But the thing is that you're stupid in a way that you're doing it on purpose. You acting and playing the dumb part, but you're not dumb. You're not stupid. Even though you are the biggest fools on the planet, the children of fools. It says, for the day of the Lord is near upon all the heathen, as thou hast done. You listening good? As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thine own head. So whatever you've done is going to return upon you. So all you got to do is go back into history. Look at all the things that your forefathers have done. Well, that was my forefathers. That wasn't me. Will prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers. Well, it says that the son shall not pay for the sins of the father. Neither shall the father pay for the sins of the son. Right? Exactly. Because there's a thing called reincarnation in the Bible. That's why it says prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers. Why? Because later on, third, fourth generation, you're going to be coming right back. So you're going to pay. And you can't erase the Most High's judgment, because you don't believe it. But if some did not believe, shall their unbelief make the faith of the Most High without effect? The Lord forbid. So it doesn't matter if you believe it, accept it, or not. You're going to be gulping it every day, Inside joke, but true. For as you have drunk upon my holy mountain, just think of all the shit that you devils have done, just on this side of the world. Going back to the late 1400s to the present. Not even going back in history as the Greeks and the Romans, so on and so forth. It's going to return on your own head. All right? It says, for as you have drunk upon my holy mountain, so shall all the heathen drink continually. You're going to have 1,000 years of drinking. It's going to be a drinking party of 1,000 years. The only time you're not going to get jammed up, so to speak, is during the Sabbaths and during the high holy days. That's the only time you're going to get the rest. But every outside of that, it's going to be fair game. All on you devils. It says, and they shall swallow down, whether you accept it or whether you refuse it. You're going to swallow it down. And they shall be as though they had not been. Because eventually, because this is dealing with you devils, you Edomites, but it's also dealing with the nations. But the part about they shall be as though they had not been, that's dealing with you specifically, you Edomites. You're going to be totally annihilated. When the kingdom of heaven is established, after you serve your hardcore bondage, you're going to be gathered up, you, your women, your children, in a big bonfire, your uncles, your grandmothers, your grandfathers, the cripples, whatever, in a big bonfire. And you're going to be set ablaze. And that is going to be your ultimate punishment. And this is what happens to devils that put their hands on the children of the Most High, the Israelites. What you try to deny, you try to say that they're done away with. You're trying to supersessionism them out of the way. You motherfucking devils are too much, man. And that's about it. That's the main point. So, let's go to Daniel, chapter 7, and verse 18. It says, but the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom, because the Lord is going to give us the kingdom as a possession. We're going to receive the kingdom of heaven. That is going to be our reward if we hold on to the end, if we are a part of the elect. That's what we're going to get. But even the Israelites that don't make it on this side will have you as an inheritance. All right? Because the law, statutes, and commandments are going to be reestablished in the earth when the kingdom of heaven is established. And one of those laws is that the servants that you're going to have are going to be of the heathen that are round about you. And there's many scriptures, man, that condemn you. And this is why you're trying to remove it out of the way. This is why you're trying to remove Israel out of the picture, because you don't want to pay. But you got to pay, man. If you can't do the time, don't do the crime. Boy. Inside joke, but true. So it says, but the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and shall possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever. So pretty much There will be no change of guard after the Israelites get back into power. When Yahushua takes his rightful place on the throne and allows us to be joint heirs with him, that's it. There's no more kingdoms after that. Because this kingdom is an everlasting kingdom. You know? One of the things he's coming back to do is to conquer. Bring war and to conquer. Because no order of any age was ever established without war. This is going to be the final war to end all wars, because you're going to have World War III in the midst. You know, these devils fighting it out. Then Yahushua is going to come, bring more fire, and he's going to totally annihilate your armies, and then the kingdom of heaven will be established. And then everything else will fall into place after that. All right? So, verse 27 says, and the kingdom and dominion and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High. Who are those? The Israelites, whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and all dominions shall serve and obey him. So don't worry about what you think and what you feel the scripture shall say, and because Revelation 7 is a different layout for the tribes than it is in the Old Testament, and this, that, and the other, and I feel and I think and I thought and I, you know, in my belief and my opinion and the way I look at it, and fuck all that. What you need to worry about is when the Lord lets us off the leash. You know, when he comes back and lets us off the leash. That's what you need to be worried about. And that's what you devils are worried about. Because the Lord said that he will set us up in order before your eyes. And you're seeing the Israelites coming into power. Doesn't matter if you accept it or not. And the reason why you have this attitude of trying to debunk the Israelites is because you know that what we're saying is true. And that, you know, you're trying to put that lid back on that, or the cap back on the bottle. But that bottle has already been twisted and tapped. And the Lord let it loose. The genie is already out the bottle. You can't put it back. You know, the word is already out. You know, and even if it wasn't, guess what? The Lord said that even the stones will jump up and start, you know, prophesying. You know, that's how close we are to this thing popping off. So it says, shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High, whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and all dominions shall serve and obey him. Now let's go to the book of Jeremiah, chapter 30. And verse 16, the main point. It says, therefore all they that devour thee, matter of fact, another one came to mind. I wrote down a couple of precepts that pretty much, but you know, I'm just going with the Spirit, how the Spirit is feeding me, so that I may feed the lambs of Yahushua. Let me just pull up this precept real quick, and then we'll go back. Because at the end of the day, the justification for the message of the Lord is right in the scriptures. You know, you devils are trying to remove it out the way with your cherry picking. What you accuse us of cherry picking, Hebrew hopscotch, but that's what you do. But your cherry picking is not good, because your cherry picking is without understanding. Your cherry picking is based on deception. Your cherry picking is based on trying to debunk what we're saying by trying to patch a bunch of bullshit together that don't even mesh when you understand the true understanding of the Bible and scriptures. You know, that's why you got to do all this extracurricular shit. That's why you got to do all those gimmicks. You have to, you know, use them big gigantic words and theological seminarical terms. You know, I'm being a little facetious but truthful, you know, so that you can throw the people off. Don't worry about it. Don't think. Let us do the thinking for you. That's what Esau does. Let us do the thinking for you. You know, don't worry about all those big terms. We'll take care of that. All you got to do is be a good old little slave. Just be the slave that you've always been. you know. But those days are coming to an end. Like I said, don't worry about what you feel and what you think. Don't worry about, trying to erase the Israelites out of the Bible and white out the Israelites out of the Bible and then place yourself, superimpose yourself over that. Worry about when the Lord lets us off the leash, when the kingdom of heaven is established. That's what you got to worry about. Because it's coming. It's almost here and it's coming. So Jeremiah 30:16, it says, therefore all they that devour thee shall be devoured. How do you interpret that? How else do you break that down? Therefore all they that devour thee shall be devoured. How do you break that down? How do you explain that? How do you interpret that? Except for what is written. Therefore all they that devour thee shall be devoured. Matter of fact, let me get one more and then we'll come back to this one. So you devils are trying to get out of, what the Lord said. You're trying to get out of the scriptures. You're trying to get out of the judgment that's coming for your monkey ass. But you ain't going to be able to slide out of it. You ain't going to be able to slide out of it. You're going to pay, you're going to pay, you're going to pay. That's it. Exodus 21:16. And he that stealeth a man, what you devils have done, and selleth him, what you have done since you got here, even before you got here, but when you got here in the late 1400s, that's all you did. Steal men, sell them, sell families, rape women. So it says, and he that stealeth a man and selleth him, you did both. Or if he be found in his hand, which we are to this very day, he shall surely be put to death. So how else do you interpret that? What is your understanding of that? What is your extra cheese on that? What is your reasoning on scriptures like this? Goddamn devils. So Jeremiah 30:16, therefore all they that devour thee shall be devoured. Not maybe, not might be, not could be, not should be, not possibly, shall be devoured. It says, and all thine adversaries, every one of them, so all of our enemies. And who are our enemies? Do we need to go to Psalms 83rd chapter? All of our enemies. Right? Every one of them. Just in case you say, well, what about, the one? Every one of them shall go into captivity. What does that mean? You're going to go into slavery. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. No, that means that those that are destined for that, they will go for that. Those that are destined for this, no, motherfucker. You are going down. Therefore, all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thine adversaries, every one of them, shall go into captivity. And this is what we're patiently waiting for. Because you can't, honestly, in our opinion, you can't go down fast enough. But we know that we have to wait for the Lord, because this is the judgment that the Lord set up. So we have to wait for the Lord to do his thing and to bring this thing to pass. Because the Lord himself, Yahweh himself, wants to bring you down. Yahweh Shai is aching on the right hand of the Most High to come down. He said the day of vengeance burns in his heart. But we all have to wait on the Lord, Yahweh, and the Most High has to wait on his word to be accomplished and fulfilled. Because the Most High is not going to break his word, his laws, is nothing. Not even for his great name's sake. Because everything rides upon his word and upon his name. It says, and they that spoil thee, which means to rob, for those of you that don't know what the word is, and some of you lazy individuals out there that won't even pick up a finger to look things up. You know, and those of you that need to be spoon-fed, I'm not saying like, you know, new members that don't know. I'm not speaking about you, brothers and sisters. I'm talking about individuals that have been watching for years, and you have to still spoon-feed these individuals. You ain't gonna make it, man. If you're too goddamn lazy to look things up, guess what? Chances are you might not make it. You might not be a part of the elect. You know? You're not coming in the Berean spirit. It says, every one of them shall go into captivity, and they that spoil thee, which means the ones that robbed you, shall be a spoil. Means you're going to be robbed. The scriptures also say in Ezekiel 39 that rob those that rob them. It says, and all that prey upon thee will I give for prey. You see how they prey upon us? You know, with this different legislation. You know, baiting us into certain scenarios, certain situations to get you caught up. You know, whether it's financially or however. You know, everything that these devils do is to bait, you know, to set up, to be a prey, to watch over. The scriptures say that the leper shall watch over the cities. You know, this is what these devils do. Psalms the 10th chapter speaks about how they lurk in secret places, you know, so that they can murder the innocent, murder the poor, murder the Israelites, you know. And don't think for 1 minute that these devils, the top devils on the so-called international banking families, that they don't know who we are. They know exactly who we are. They know exactly what's going on. You know, but they're delusional in thinking that they're going to win. You're not going to win. You're not going to win. And you know this. But you're so deluded in your mind that you're still going to fight. You know, well, like my man Maximus said, which he never existed. That was a composite, as the Elder Pastor broke down before. You know, like he said, when one of his generals said to him, why can't the people know when they're conquered? He said, will you? Would I? You know, so nobody wants to give up their position, no matter how weak they might be. But you gotta go, man. Esau, you gotta go, man. And you're gonna go. Now let's go from there to Isaiah chapter 60, when it started at 10. And the sons of strangers, which are the actual nations, shall build up thy walls. Because we're going to be reestablished on the earth. It's going to be the Most High Yahweh Shai, the Israelites, you know, and the government of Israel, 144,000, so on and so forth, on down the line, you know. And you nations, you're going to build up the walls. You're going to build up the kingdom. And one of your first jobs that you're going to have, especially you international banking families, finding dead bodies and burying them. One group of you devils are going to be looking for the bodies. You're going to be putting up signs, you know, in Hebrew, you know, of over here lies so and so and such, you know. And then another group of your devils going to come through, dig holes, and put those bodies in those holes. And there's going to be continual employment because there's going to be a lot of dead bodies. The scriptures say that the slain of the Lord shall be many. So you're going to have plenty of work in the kingdom of heaven. You know, because I don't know about, you know, anybody else, but you know, this is just now, you know, my reasoning now. I don't want any of them devils touching any of my food. You know, none of it. You know, so I don't know how it's going to go down, you know. I mean, this is just my reasoning now. Could be warped, you know, it could just be, you know, whatever, you know, but I don't want them devils. I mean, they definitely ain't going to be preparing none of my food. That's for sure, you know. But they will be out there in the fields doing whatever they got to do, you know. But honestly, I'm to the point where I don't even want them to even touch any of my food. Nothing. You know, not a seed, you know, nothing. But they will be working hard. Trust and believe that. It says, and their kings shall minister unto thee. Meaning, what is a minister? A minister is a servant. Their kings are going to minister unto us. Do you know what that means? Let me get one that just came to mind. Got to wipe the dust off of this one. I hope it's either this here or it might be in another part of Isaiah. Some of you brothers already know where I'm going with it. Yep. I'll start at 22. Thus said the Lord power, behold, I will lift up mine hand to the Gentiles. and set up my standard to the people, and they shall bring thy sons in their arms. It's talking about the nations, the actual nations are gonna, they're gonna, the Lord's gonna lift up his hand to them. Then he's gonna set up a standard to the people, meaning the Israelites, because everyone in the kingdom of heaven is gonna know who all the Israelites are. There ain't gonna be no mystery of, oh, you know, this here it is. You got this Korean-looking dude today that is a Jake. You got the swag of a Jake, but because he looks the way he looks, you have other Israelites that shun him. And you have some Koreans that are actual heathens that will look at him as a sellout, but don't understand that when you go back to his family line, he either goes back to so-called Negroes, Latinos, or Native American Indians. In the kingdom of heaven, all the Israelites, you will know who the Israelites are, because we will all have a particular glow to us. Some glows are going to be more, you know, luminous. You know, some are not as much, but you know what? At the end of the day, all of Israel is going to shine. It says, I will set up my hand to the Gentiles and set up my I will lift up my hand unto the Gentiles and set up my standard to the people, right? Because the Israelites are going to be set up in a standard. And they, meaning the Gentiles, the nations, shall bring thy sons in their arms, and thy daughters shall be carried upon their shoulders. Why? Because they're going to be the new nursing fathers and the new nursing mothers, beginning with their kings. You see how these nobodies, these foolish, these cave-dwelling devils are acting like they're royal, you know, pompous, in high positions, looking down on people's, you know, being all snooty and bushy. Well, they're going to go from that to rags. They're going to go back to being the servants that they are. At one time, they were living it up. But now we see in their decline. You know, this is why they removed that statue, which is heavy, because it shows that these devils are going down. Never in your life would you ever thought that they would bring down a statue of Teddy Roosevelt. I believe that was Teddy Roosevelt, sitting up on a horse, and a Gadite on one side and a Judite on the other side. I have seen servants on horses and princes walking the ground. And it could be possible that King Solomon saw that very statue, or he could have actually seen, you know, Esau on horseback and Jake walking on the ground as servants. You know? Now that's going to be turned around. And that was pretty much symbolic of what's going on, because they know they're in decline. Not a good time to be Edomite in 2023. It says, and kings shall be thy nursing fathers, and their queens thy nursing mothers. They shall bow down to thee with their face toward the earth. It says, and lick up the dust of thy feet. You got individuals doing this now, trying to, and don't understand that some of those Edomite looking people that are doing this, more than likely they're Jakes. Because Esau's too proud to bow down. You know? Esau's too proud to bow down. So what you're doing pretty much is you might have, you know, an Edomite looking individual bowing to you, kissing your feet, licking the dust off your boots, you know, and they really are an Israelite. Did you never consider that? It says, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Why? Because this is going to actually happen. See, nowadays, this is preposterous, man. What do you mean we're going to bow down to you? You know Esau pride. And thou shalt know that I am the Lord, for they shall not be ashamed that wait for me. That's right, and that's what we wait for the Lord. Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Shall the prey be taken from the mighty, or the lawful captive delivered? And the answer to that is no. The only way that can be done is when the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai delivers us. Because we are the prey. We are the captives. Let's go to Isaiah, a couple of chapters over. 51. And the reason why I'm doing the lesson like this is because it's raining outside, cats and frogs. And when it's warmer, I like to do my lesson outside if the spirit allows, and just doing something different, than I normally do. I usually on my computer, which is right there. But I just wanted to do something a little different, break up the monotony. And just also testing a theory, this is just, I'm just thinking out loud so I can, testing something out for myself, So Isaiah 51:14, it says, the captive exile hasteneth that he may be loose. Who is a captive exile? Well, first of all, the word captive means slave. Exile means someone that is taken out of their land. They're ripped out of their land. So we are captives or slaves that are in exile. We're pretty much royalty in exile. Hasteneth that he may be loose. In other words, we're hastening or wanting the Lord to hurry up to deliver us, so that we may be loosed from this captivity that we're in. It says, and that he should not die in the pit. Right, and this is a pit. America is a pit. This is a gall of bitterness. The East Coast especially is the belly of the beast. Now I know there's other places in America that are terrible, but I don't think there's any place as terrible as the East Coast. The East Coast will eat, chew, and devour people. Know that his bread should fail. Yeah, because these devils, the way they're going. And this scripture right now even rings even truer, or not truer, but with more understanding that his bread should perish or fail, because you see the direction that they're going with the food. They're destroying everything, GMO and everything, re-engineering everything. Matter of fact, I went to go buy some taco shells last Sunday, about a week from today, a week past, last Sunday. And I picked them up, I read the ingredients. It ain't the greatest ingredients, but they were crunchy tacos. So I buy them. I go, I put them in my cart after I pay for them. And I drive them to my truck, and as I'm taking them out to put them away, my eye went right to this one part, and it said, I believe this product has been bioengineered. I said, what? And at first I was going to take them, but then something else in me was like, nah. So I went back in, took them back in, and I settled for something that was not as great, but it didn't say no bioengineered, But this is just, and also, not just that alone, but, also the famines that are coming, and then in the kingdom of heaven, we're not going to be, we're never going to go hungry again. In the kingdom of heaven, we're never going to have to eat another GMO meal. In the kingdom of heaven, we're never going to eat food and feel all, disgusted, like, what the hell did I just eat? The elder pastor said that years ago, and, I understand it a lot more now. I understood it then, but I understand it a lot more now. He said, when the kingdom of heaven is established, we're going to know what it is to have a real meal, or something along those lines. Because the shit that we eat today, man, there's no way you should eat food and then feel all fucked up. Food is supposed to energize you, revitalize you. The word restaurant means to restore. So when you eat, you're supposed to be restored. All the nutrients and things that have depleted out of your body, throughout the day, the moving and grooving that you've done. By the time you eat, you're supposed to be refreshed, renewed, restored. Not feel like you want to drop dead. This is a fucked up world, man. So let's go back to Isaiah 60 and 10. And the sons of strangers shall build up thy walls, and their kings shall minister unto thee. For in my wrath I smote thee, but in my favor have I had mercy on thee. Because the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel. Through all of our misdeeds and transgressions and everything that we've done, the Lord made a promise to his friend Abraham. And it's because of that promise and the oath that the Lord made that we are going to receive any mercy. And that we're still, in the good graces of the Lord. And Yahushua came 2,000 years ago to cement that for us. You know? Therefore thy gates shall be open continually, meaning the gates of the kingdom of heaven, which shows you that these devils that call themselves Israelites today, or call them, the little hats, that they're not the people of the Lord. Because where is the kingdom of heaven? Where are the gates? They shall not be shut day nor night, and men shall bring unto thee the forces of the Gentiles, meaning their riches, and that their kings may be brought. Because that's the first ones that go into captivity. These devils that are going to be hiding in their bunkers and their shelters, they're going to be the first to taste of captivity. It says, for the nation and kingdom that will not serve thee shall perish. So don't worry about trying to, debunk the Israelites, trying to give your demonic warped interpretation of what the scriptures mean in Revelation and other scriptures about the Gentiles and all that. Worry about when the Lord lets us off the leash. Because when the Lord lets us off the leash, all bets are off for you devils. But when the kingdom of heaven is established, that's exactly what's going to go down. It says, for the nation and kingdom that will not serve thee shall perish. Yea, those nations shall be utterly wasted. So I don't know what Bible these devils are reading. But they ain't reading my Bible. Let me get real quick. This is one of my favorites, Micah 4. And we're going to go straight to the point. Now I'm going to start at 11. The point is in 13. Now also many nations are gathered against thee, that say, let her be defiled, and let our eyes look upon Zion. Right. In other words, they have us as servants to them. Have us destitute in the condition that we're in. They love it when we're in this condition. This is why when you get these actors and entertainers that play an actor buffoon, Esau feels comfortable around those devils. The honest ape honeycut spirit. He feels comfortable around those devils. But when you wake up and you look at them for who they really are, and you have a serious demeanor about you, and you are clairvoyant, or not clairvoyant, your mind is clear, and you're focused. You have that focused look and not that buffoonish look. They get nervous. This is why every time you see Esau, whether men or women, and they see Jake, what they do, they always smiling. Fuck you smiling about? Because they feel uncomfortable with Jake when they have a serious look on their face, but they feel comfortable when they see Jake's teeth. When they see you, cutting your teeth, smiling, they like that. Because it makes them feel comfortable. Because although they don't agree with what we're teaching, they know a day of reckoning is coming, a real day of reckoning. It says, but they know not the thoughts of the Lord. Right. You don't know the thoughts of the Lord. Neither understand they his counsel. You don't understand the counsel of the Lord. This should be read more, as Elder Pastor always says. You heathens, you don't know the thoughts of the Lord, nor understand his counsel. This is why you're trying to supersessionism everything out the way. You're trying to get rid of the nation of Israel to insert your demonic ass in there. Because that's the only way it works. It says, for he shall gather them as the sheaves into the floor. What do you do when you gather sheaves in the floor? You crush them. You have the millstone, or you have the people stomping grapes. So the Lord is gathering you as sheaves into the floor. Then he says, because you devils out there say, well, vengeance belongs unto the Lord. Yeah, but who is he going to use for that vengeance? Matter of fact, we hold that on debt. And let me go back. The Israelites. Verse 13, arise and thresh, O daughter of Zion. So who's going to be doing the threshing? The Israelites. Going to be ripping and tearing you devils apart in the kingdom of heaven. You heathens too. For I will make thine horn iron, meaning our power. It's going to be like iron. And I will make thy hoofs brass, and even our feet. And thou shalt beat in pieces many people. So with one swipe, because we're going to have spiritual power. With one swipe, like a lion, when he swipes, deadly. You're going to have limbs, noses, pieces of ears, you know, jaws, hairlines, you know, feet, torsos flying everywhere. It says, and thou shalt beat in pieces many people, and I will consecrate their gain unto the Lord, and their substance unto the Lord of the whole earth, because we're going to get the upper hand in the kingdom of heaven. We're going to get revenge. There is a such thing as reincarnation, and you devils are going to pay for what you've done. No matter if you accept it, believe it or not. That's of no consequence to us, man. We don't give a damn if you believe it or not. You still gonna go down, sucker. So this is Revelation 2:25. But that which you have already hold fast till I come, which is what? The truth. Don't let these devils sway you. Don't let these devils pull a fast one on over you. Don't let them with their bullshit, lies, sway you away from the truth. What you have already, hold fast till I come, till the Lord comes back, because this is the hope. This scripture say, here is the patience and the faith of the saints. This is what the saints are waiting for. For what? For those that led us into captivity, lead them into captivity. For those that killed us with the sword, to have them being killed with the sword. How in the hell are the saints waiting patiently to be put into captivity or to be killed by the sword? As these devils try to say that scripture in Revelation 13 speaking of. No, the saints, which are the Israelites, are patiently waiting to put those into captivity that had us in captivity. To put to death those that put us to death by the sword. That's what it's talking about, you goddamn devils. It says, and he that overcometh and keepeth my words unto the end. That's what we have to keep. To him will I give power over the nations. We're going to get power over those nations. The Lord is going to renew our strength. No matter how weak a brother may be, or no matter how strong a brother may be, all of that's going to be increased tremendously inside Job. It says, to him will I give power over the nations. We're going to have the power over the nations. I don't give a damn what vocab his minions say. And you Israelites that are of the same mindset as vocab, you're going to be removed right out the way. The Lord's going to remove you right out the way. You're going to be sizzle fried. And he shall rule them with a rod of iron. And that rod of iron is going to be actually used. As the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers. So if you take an iron rod and you hit the vessel or clay, pottery, it's going to shiver. It's going to break into pieces. That's how we're going to do nations in the kingdom of heaven. When you get out of line, you see what this is right here? Okay, this is in case you get out of line, Richard, okay? Inside you. It says that he shall rule them with a rod of iron. As the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers, even as I received of my Father. And when did he receive that at? Let's go real quick to Psalms chapter 2. I wrote some of these scriptures down, but the Spirit is just feeding them to me, as we go along. Through the Holy Spirit, the Hakodash. Psalms 2:8. Ask of me, and I shall give you the heathen for thine inheritance, and the utmost parts of the earth for thy possession. So this is what the Lord is going to receive, and this is what we're going to receive. I remember years ago in Bridgeport, these heathens, which I don't know, maybe thinking about it now, it might have been Jake's. But back then everybody was a heathen. And there was these Ishmaelites, I think they were. And we were at their store. And something happened, I forget what it was. And the guy said to me, pray for me. I said, okay. So as I was leaving the store, I prayed for him, asked the Lord to give him to me as a slave. But now thinking about it, you know, in retrospect, you know, he could have been a Jake that was asking me to pray for him. Back then we didn't understand, you know, fully understand. I mean, we knew that you were going to have Israelites coming out of the nations, looking like the nations, but we didn't. If you looked like a heathen, you were a heathen, pretty much back then. But you know, in retrospect, he might have been a Jake asking for, you know, a blessing, because he probably saw something in us. You know what it was, I don't know. You know, hopefully it's good. You know, where he asked for a prayer. You know, so if he is an Israelite, may the Lord, you know, if he's still alive, may the Lord preserve him, protect him, and deliver him. You know? So it says, Psalms 2 and 9, it says, thou shalt break them with a rod of iron. Thou shalt dash them in pieces like a potter's vessel, which is the same thing we read in the book of Revelation, chapter 2. Let me read this precept, and whatever else comes up. You know, so like I really don't have, you know, I see you brothers putting up comments and precepts, but I can't really see them from here. It's kind of a little, you know, further than my ocular can focus on. Salaki. Doves. Ezekiel 22 and 12. Matter of fact, I'm just going straight to the point. For 14. And I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people Israel. So death, the Lord is going to take vengeance. Yes, vengeance belongs unto the Lord. But the Lord is going to use us to lay vengeance, beginning with Esau and the other nations. We just read in Micah, the 4th chapter, the same thing. It says, and I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people Israel, and they shall do in Edom according to mine anger and according to my fury. And they shall know my vengeance, saith the Lord power. Yeah, because we don't have enough anger and fury in us to recompense these devils how they deserve. But the Lord's going to put that in us to do it to them. He's going to put his anger and his vengeance in us to execute these things. And they're going to be executed in the most professional, you know, strategic, you know, fashion. You know, with all prejudice, you know, if I'm saying that correctly. You know, everything, all the niceness and all that is going to be out the door, because we're going to be turned up. So don't worry about what you believe and what your beliefs are, and you know, what you think the meaning of certain scriptures are, or if, you know, what's said in Revelation 7 doesn't match with what's said in the Old Testament, and because Judah is mentioned first, and that wasn't the way that they were born, so on and so forth. What you need to worry about is when the Lord lets us off the leash in the kingdom of heaven. So with that, I pray that you brothers and few sisters have been edified and comforted. Till the next time I say, Shalom.